How's it going? So this week hasn't really been the greatest really, but I just want to start off with some positive news first before I delve into all that. So first off, I completed the Detective Gallo video game and overall I very much enjoyed it. I really like the art style, the characters and how they interact with each other, and overall the story of the crime was just very intriguing and light-hearted at the same time, so overall I very much enjoyed the game. And then coming off that, I began playing Astral Chain, which is a action-adventure game with RPG elements, so overall, so far from what I've played, it's very dynamic, very dramatic sort of cutscenes and just overall very over the top and action packed, so hopefully I'll enjoy the game as it goes along. And other than video games, I've just mainly still been watching a whole lot of Disney movies, and I think at this point I feel like I'm going through some sort of Disney phase, because for the past few weeks I've just been watching pretty much just all Disney movies, and yeah, just catching up on a lot of the movies that I missed over the years. And yeah, there's just so much to talk about, so many movies that it'll just drag on if I talk about all of them, but I think one of the highlights was probably Brother Bear, and it's a very heartwarming story filled with friendship, growing up, like a boy who desperately wants to become a man, but he becomes a man in an unexpected way, and just overall it was a very emotional and heartwarming movie to watch. And then on the Sunday I went out for a walk again with my mum in the local park, and because we're still in isolation and lockdown, I'm still very fearful of going out really. I just feel it's probably staying home is for the best at the moment, but there are times where I would just like to go out, because being stuck at home all week does, get to you after a while. So I wanted to just go out for a little bit, just to take in some of the outside air and stuff. And again, it felt very tense. There was a lot of people this time around, and there were even many of them who were actually just gathering and having a little party and stuff. So I guess obviously those ones weren't following the rules, but I mean, I kept my distance and stayed cautious as I walked around, but overall it was okay. It felt very tense, and it was quite difficult always just keeping my distance from everyone who I walked past, and they were doing the same. So but overall it just can't really be helped. We're all just trying to help ourselves and also help each other. So overall it was kind of nice to go out again, but at the same time tense. And then other than those hobbies, for the week I've mainly just been continuing my story really, and I think overall it's going okay, I think, but I mean, it's still very early days, so there's going to be a lot I'm going to need to add in and stuff, and yeah, it's just going somewhat smoothly, I guess, but there is difficulty with it just because of how I'm feeling. But I think for now I can show the title of the book and I guess the main character as well. And the reason I couldn't show this last week is because this is actually quite an old project which I started back in, I think it was 2009, I think, back when I was still in college. And this project was actually my final major project in college, where I wanted to design a video game and such. But obviously, because at the moment I'm not really able to go ahead with that goal to turn this into an actual video game, my next best thing I can do, I guess, is to develop it in book form. So So all the characters and most of the story is kind of already planned out from back then, so now it's just a matter of writing it all down. And yeah, overall it's actually a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Like, there's so many characters and so many story arcs to get through, so I think overall it's going to be quite a big project this time around, but hopefully it goes well. But like I mentioned at the start, this week overall hasn't been the greatest, and that's mainly because it's been quite a strange week for me. Like, at the beginning of the week I was feeling kind of sick. I mean, I was feeling a little bit sick the last week as well, but it was kind of on and off. But this week, I don't know, I just kind of always felt I had this kind of strange dizziness and always got headaches really easily, which becomes really unbearable at times. And I'm always feeling like cold but quite hot inside, and then it's just kind of this weird combination of feeling. And I always feel like I want to vomit as well. Just, I don't know, it almost feels like I'm on the verge of getting a cold or something, but at the same time not really. So this scares me because I have heard that symptoms of COVID-19 they start off similar to a cold and stuff, but I don't know, I mean, hopefully I hope I haven't caught the virus, but it's just kind of been on and off. Like, some days I just kind of feel a bit sick, and then other days I'm feeling alright. And then there was this one time I was like woken up in the middle of the night, and then as soon as I woke up I felt really sick, like I really wanted to vomit. And then I was just always swallowing to try and hold back the vomit, really. It was just really odd and strange. And even now when I cough, I have this like aftertaste of like blood in my throat, which is really strange overall. So I mean, at the moment I'm feeling okay, like I don't feel like vomiting or anything, but it's just a strange combination of sickness. But other than that, I've also been feeling really frazzled in my head. Like, my concentration is always very difficult anyway because of my mental health, but I just feel it's just been more frazzled, even more so. Like, I've just been forgetting a lot more things, forgetting things that I've watched or heard or played and stuff. And even when I'm writing my story, I always have this issue where I have the word in my head that I want to write down, but then I end up misspelling it completely. Like, the arrangement of the letters are in completely different order. It's almost like a dyslexia thing. And I think I do actually have a bit of dyslexia, but it was never really this severe back then. So I don't know if it's because it's just all the stress that's getting to me and it's just making my concentration worse overall. As well as with feeling that way, like, I mean, I live with my mum, and lately she's been, I don't know, a bit difficult to be around. Like, she just seems to easily get annoyed with me, even at the littlest things. Like, she'd ask me something and I would probably ask her to clarify or ask her to repeat the question, and then I don't know, she just kind of gets annoyed at me for that and just starts like telling me off and stuff. And I don't know if it's something I did or which I don't recall doing anything that would upset her, but I don't know, maybe she's just feeling the stress of this whole COVID-19 as well, so it just makes people very easily irritated, I guess. But overall, with her kind of always being seemingly annoyed and always telling me off, does definitely just put my mood down even more. And as well as that, like, Rick May, who voiced the character of Peppy, sadly passed away from COVID-19 this week as well, which I did put up a real talk about it because for those of you who've watched my real talk on the Peppy Hare character, you know that the character is very close to me and has made it a huge part of my childhood really, and has kind of gotten me through a lot of my depression and stuff back in the day when I was a teenager and stuff. But yeah, to hear that the voice actor for Peppy sadly passed away from the virus definitely was a huge knock for me. Like, this is like the first person in my life who I didn't know personally but was still very close to me in my heart, and this is the first time where the virus has affected that person and their family, but also affected me and many other fans of Rick May really. So yeah, like I said, this virus has just taken a lot of people, and it's just taken so much and has left a huge scar in many people and stuff. So it's just affected a lot of people really. All I can really hope is that this virus just dies down soon, and the best we can all do really to do our part is just stay home and stay safe. Like, I can't really stress enough about that. But yeah, overall this week has just been very odd and very off-putting with all the events and stuff. So yeah, overall hasn't been the greatest week for me. So with all those events that I talked about, I suppose it's natural for me to just not feel the greatest this week. Like, I've just been very depressed and feeling really low mood pretty much all the time. And although watching the movies and playing the games does lift my mood a little bit when doing so, overall I'd say my mood has still been really low and depressed really. So yeah, I mean, it's just, it can't really be helped really, like with all this virus that's going around. Like I've said many times already, I'm sure most people are going to feel very low and depressed during this time anyway, but for the people with mental health, I'm sure that's just going to be an even more extra load on them. Like, I'm certainly feeling it, and it's just overall not a nice feeling. It's just zaps all the energy from me, always feeling exhausted and just unmotivated, not really enjoying the things that I used to like doing and stuff. So yeah, overall my mood has just been really low, and unfortunately I expect it to kind of continue on into next week as well. So I guess we just have to see how it goes from here. Not a whole lot, I'd imagine. I suspect it will be pretty similar to this week really. So just continuing my book, try to continue the hobbies I like doing, and I guess see if I can patch things up with my mum for whatever the reasons are for this case. But yeah, I just suspect it will be very similar to this week. So I guess that's pretty much it for this week, so hopefully I'll see you next Saturday. That's it for this video. My name is Hoiman, and please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And remember, always look forward, keep hope alive, and remember, you're somebody.